Welcome to Tub Talks with Damon on location in Merida, Mexico. And I am here with the gorgeous and talented and amazing Schreiber from Nashville, Tennessee. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am so good. We have both been here attending a summit on gay men aging gracefully.
You got it.
And so I'm so glad you're here, and I've never met this man before this week, but we've just had a wonderful week together that we're going to talk about. But Kurt, before we get there, I want to ask you, what do you like most about your body?
Wow. Probably the fact that I have hair, and despite the fact that they're deeply hooded, I like my eyes.
Uh-huh. Show your eyes. Show your eyes to the people. Yeah. Well, your eyes are also convey your warmth.
Thank you.
Your wisdom. And part of this wonderful week that we've been here is we've been sharing a lot of our stories, and I've been getting to hear a lot of your life lessons, things that you learned about. What drew you to this workshop? What made you want to come here this week to this particular workshop?
Well, it's led by Michael Melee and Don Shuey.
Yeah.
I was with them and another counselor for a wonderful trip to Italy years ago, which was transformative. And so when I saw that they were doing this, and I thought aging gracefully's got to be the right thing to go for.
Yeah. Great. And so, what does that mean to you to age gracefully?
To take the days that come as gifts and use them to the fullest.
Right. Take the days as gifts. You were in your 70s.
Yep.
Did you always experience life as a gift, or be able to see this moment as a gift?
No, not always equally. Life was difficult in some ways at first, and so that was took some growing through.
How did you learn to approach the present moment and our day-to-day life with gratitude?
Well, I grew up in a tradition, a religious tradition actually, that encouraged presence, even though it discouraged homosexuality, as it said. So I stuck with the presence part and seeing the unfoldment of life around me. And that really sort of set the stage. Later in life, when I realized at one point that I truly was born the way I am and accepted it, then it was a matter of grasping it and not just accepting myself, trying to nurture myself, grow, celebrate myself.
When did you come out as gay?
Late, probably 2000, the year 2000.
2000.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were some of the struggles with coming out in the
Well,
2000s?
the struggles are with guilt.
Guilt.
Because the clarity came in a moment. But I loved I followed the advice of the American Psychological Association and my church, and simply at that time it was find a good woman, become intimately involved, and you'll grow out of this. And so I accepted that. I wanted that because my experiences in gay sex up to that point had been very few and guilt laden. Mm-hmm. So as I came into this, the guilt shifted to guilt regarding the hurt that my family would experience. A few friends, but it was a family-related guilt. And so it took a while to work. Well, it's a hard thing.
Yeah. So you were in your 50s at this point.
Yes, I was.
Did you experience ageism from within the gay community?
Probably I experienced more than was really projected to me, because I had internalized the thought that I was past, my sell-by age was past, and while many people were very kind to me, many men were very kind to me, I had difficulty thinking of myself as still in the prime or physically attractive.
Sorry for the banging. This is Merida, so we're outside. There's construction. You had trouble conceiving yourself as attractive.
Yeah.
Why is it?
Well, I think we internalize that which is around us. One thing we internalize is homophobia, we can internalize the ageism that comes around us. And I think I just without analyzing, without strong support, I think I just took those things right in.
How about now?
I think I'm doing pretty well. It's almost as though I was just not listening to that very much anymore at all.
To that ageism?
To the ageism,
Yeah.
yeah, and certainly not to the discrimination against yourself as gay. That's gone.
So the old messages, the religious messages about being gay,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the ageism that comes from within and without the gay community, you are just releasing. You're like letting go of all of that stuff.
Releasing, but also having to work through some of it and sort of examine it for what it was.
How do you work through this stuff, and so it doesn't control you or oppress you?
I think really with the help and support of others. I think one needs friends, and probably positive feedback from those who aren't even friends. But it's the way we all get through things. But maybe we don't. But yeah, it was encouragement, it was support, it was nourishment from others. All that sort of brought me out.
You know, it's something that a lot of, I've heard a lot as I've been out, is from men in their 50s, 60s, 70s saying it's hard to make friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How would you suggest somebody do that?
Well, I sort of cast about after I realized who I was, because I immediately started telling others. I thought I had to be honest about it. And I considered cruises and nature society and all that, which is all perfectly good. I fortunately was referred or encouraged to get in touch with a group that meets in North Carolina. It's the Gay Spiriters. And they really are looking at the spiritual side of the psychological and spiritual side of what it is to be gay, as well as where this is going in the future. So that really was like a tribe. And they embraced me, and I learned a lot every time I went. And it had great experience.
So it was kind of through something that made sense to you, spirituality, a gay spirit.
Yes, although it also, fortunately, provides opportunity to do talent shows for those who feel they have no talent. Drag shows for those who never ever want to do drag. But the theory is pretty much if you want to do it, and it's sort of like, why not? Try it. And then ancillary experiences around this beautiful mountaintop retreat center. So it really gave me the chance to experiment.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say today in your daily life or practice gives you a sense of pleasure?
Probably at the core is gathering people together and connecting. Whether that's over dinner or over whatever, but that really does sort of core to my being.
Beautiful. So when you say get people together, and I know from our talks that what you do intentionally in your community is to
I'll have a dinner party. I'll have whatever it is. Gather people to eat together and then talk. And it's often a gay group, but it's not always. It's a pretty good mix of men and women on some of these dinners, straight and gay.
And I love that because that to me speaks to this idea that we can be proactive and intentional with what we want. Like instead of waiting for people to pay attention to us or waiting for this to happen, you go out and you make this happen. And you invite people into your home and have dinner parties where people
and sometimes it's a matter of calling up a few people and telling me for coffee tomorrow morning. It doesn't have to be at my house, but many of them are, just because that's my style. But certainly with friends, and I've got a lovely network of friends who I'm going to be in town on Tuesday. Let's have lunch. Yeah, it's really good.
Is there anything you've learned during this meet together here in Merida with a group of there's about 12 men over the age of 50 or 60? Anything that you're going to take back with you?
Oh yeah. I would say one of the key lessons included the frank discussion by the other men in terms of both their their aspirations and their insecurities. It was wonderful to be able to share the worries and the phenomenon of aging and what seems more graceful than others.
So really hearing how other people are approaching.
Yeah, and in fairness, we are skillfully facilitated, I choose the word, and so we have wonderful group discussions, as you know, of 2 to 3 hours typically, I guess, and with provocative questions that come around, we'll interrogate each other, we'll throw in extra comments, and so it gave me a wonderful sense of being with the tribe. And interestingly, the side trips that we had, because we had a few of those too, Uxmal and Cenote, swimming in an underground cavern with my team here and other people who were with us, was transformative because 2 levels. I thought, first of all, just the experience of floating along and moving from chamber to chamber and experiencing the beauty, and the sense that this is what we were doing as gay men aging gracefully. It was a good example of a bonding, wonderful experience. It took a little effort to get to.
I love that experience too, by the way. Cenotes are like these underground waters here in Merida that are very, I think, very spiritual, very sacred.
Yeah, caverns with stalactites coming down. It's wonderful.
Is there any advice you would give to someone who's watching this, someone who might be in their 70s or approaching an age that they're not comfortable with, who are fearing that being an older gay man means automatically one is going to be isolated and obsolete?
Well, the issue of isolation is a two-way street. I think it's a rational fear, and yet there are steps we can take. And sometimes I sit myself down and say, okay, what should I do next? I may think of, who have I not seen lately? Who should I meet for lunch? Whatever it is, or have a dinner with. So it's a matter of being willing to take the initiative to affect the change. And all my life, I've been often willing to affect that change, different changes. And here too, I think it's a matter of reminding myself, or anyone, that we have opportunities, and we need to be alert to what's actually at stake as well as what spiritual, mental, psychological state we're in. We also are supported by others who are happy to support and help. So I think it's that deliberate reaching out in some easy way. It doesn't have to be a trip to Merida at all, but it can be. But it can be something very simple.
I appreciate that. I feel like a lot of what you've been sharing, and it's kind of like be the change you want to see, right? Like you want community, then be someone who creates community. As you said, don't wait for it to come to you, but be interactive with that idea.
I think that's right.
Yeah. And that in your 50s that you made this significant shift in your life to come out, to be your true, authentic sexual, spiritual self. Like, that inspires me a lot too. Thank you. If people are interested in hearing more about your thoughts, or do you do social media, or is there anyone who wants to learn more about your life or follow you or get ideas about you from how to put people together at dinner parties?
Well, I'm not engaged in an active practice on that right now.
Okay.
I mean, I've counseled people before, but I'd leave it to contacting your website and we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. So if folks have questions for Kurt, my email is on this, and I'd say if this conversation appeals to you, think about what it might be like for you to create community and friendship at any age, at any stage of life. I think this place is beautiful. This workshop is beautiful, and I think in general we have this sort of historical, unprecedented moment of getting older at a time that we've never had, I would say relatively advanced social acceptance, legal protections, medical advancements. We've just never aged up as a cohort before in this way.
I think that's right. I think, though, there are challenges arising in legislatures and elsewhere all around the country.
Yes.
And so, yes, it's a chance for unprecedented progress, but it's also a little bit fraught with difficulty. I admire the pioneers who went long before us. I think we're in our own very different pioneering mode now.
Well, I'm glad to be on this frontier, this new
All right,
frontier
all right.
with you. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Tub Talk. If you enjoyed, subscribe down below. And again, think about these conversations and interactions in your bathtub or your suntonus or your wherever you have conversations with your friends, clothed or naked.
Kiddie pool. Anyway,
Your kiddie pool. And that we can all be agents of change and being proactive in our lives in terms of building community and new friendships. And I'm glad you're my new friend.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care.